Hi, it's Sunday on the mountain, and I was going to talk about blending parenting styles, but something more important came up because I was working with a couple recently, and uh, okay, couples do this thing where they stay together in misery or they just break up. Sometimes they just separate and they flounder around and there's no real plan, and it doesn't work to just separate. You really need to have a protocol. You really need to have a plan. And so years ago, I stole part of this from a book and then I adapted it so that it would work better for couples. And it's called a healing separation. And you don't have to stay together miserable, and you don't have to just separate and hope that works, hope that person misses you enough to straighten up and come back. And you don't have to just split. So a healing separation protocol, it's good to have a coach when you're going through it. So call me, or somebody who knows it. I don't know anyone else who knows it. So it's scary, but the couple lives separately for 3 months. And during this and if you have kids, you set a visitation and you leave it. Because, God forbid you split up one day because you didn't try a healing separation, and you're going to have to experience what that's like. And you will go through the death process because it's scary. You'll feel everything during the healing separation, living apart. So the protocol is, out of every 7-day week, you have one fun or romantic date that you take turns planning. You have one friends or family date where you cultivate your relationships with people who support the union. And you minimize the time that you spend with people who don't support the union. And if you don't have anybody that supports your relationship, you need to go on meetup.com and look for couples that go to do something fun. Oh, by the way, during the healing separation, you keep your marriage vows, even more so than usual. So if you're used to looking at a magazine and getting a little thrill, you're not going to even look at magazines. So you're going to keep your marriage vows, like to the letter, in body, mind, and spirit. Even in your mind, you're going to keep your marriage vows. So one fun or romantic date, one friends or family date, one couples session, and you can go do something fun after the couples session. And in the couples session, if you don't have a counselor that does this, find one or call me. Your couples counselor should help you work on past, present, and future. Past, they're going to help you heal old wounds so you can let it go. Present, they're going to help you get deeply, profoundly connected in the present moment. Future, they're going to help you set up a maintenance plan so that you don't backslide. And also so that you set an intention of where you want to be as a couple in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years. So you're going to have your fun or romantic date, your friends or family date. You're going to have your couple session. Of course, I have to fix my hair because I'm doing my video right now. Haha. Couple session, go do something fun after your couple session. Then you're going to have 2 phone contact days where you don't see each other, but you each get one 20-minute phone call to the other, and then you're going to have 2 blackout days. By the way, on your phone days, you can't text or email or anything. You're just going to have one phone call, just like in prison. Then on your blackout days, you cultivate your relationship with your same-sex friends, with your platonic friends, and you cultivate your relationship with yourself, and you develop your autonomy, because every relationship issue can be traced back to 2 core problems: the need to feel close and the need to feel separate and autonomous. And then at the end of the 3 months healing separation, we do a reassessment session and see where you're at. Are you ready to get back together? Do you need another 3 months? Or do you feel better apart from each other? And I can tell you, quite frankly, of the probably 30 couples that I've coached over the last 20 years through healing separations, only 2 have actually chosen to end their relationship. And the first one was the first one that I ever did it with, and it was actually the dude who brought the protocol to me, which I modified after I saw what didn't work for them. So, and the other couple that ended it, they ended it quite amicably in a very beautiful way. I've had couples renew their marriage vows. That's how I wound up getting my minister's license. They wanted me to marry them. So I've been to weddings. I've been to weddings of people who would never get married. This guy would never marry this gal. They had 2 kids together, and he wouldn't marry her. Well, they did a healing separation. So it's very scary, and you do go through everything that you would go through if you had broken up. And the reason why, fixing my hair again, the reason why healing separation works is because you go through the death process. You go through all the emotions, all the elation, sadness, fear, terror, joy, freedom that you would if the relationship had ended. And you need the relationship to end because the old relationship is not working. And it will experience a death, and you will experience a death. And the who you were will no longer be, because you'll go through an alchemic change. You'll go through a quickening. Remember the Highlander? There can be only one. Every time he slayed one of his fears, you know, the bad guys were a metaphor for his fears. I hope you can hear me because the wind's blowing now. The bad guys were a metaphor for his fears, and every time he cut off the head of one of the bad guys, one of his foes, he got more energy, and eventually he just totally transcended. Well, it works the same way for human beings. Okay, so you don't need to get divorced, and you don't need to stay together miserable. You can do a healing separation. I do have it all written out, so if you want to see it or if you want to just talk to me, just call me. But don't stay together miserable. You deserve a happy life. And don't just split up if you still love each other. It only works if both people are willing. It doesn't work if one person's willing and the other person's not willing. Okay, willingness is like 50% of it. All right. Hi. I love you guys. I hope you're having an amazing weekend. Mwah.